Fear is not a feeling, it's a survival program. And if you write it wrong, readers disconnect instantly. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Jack Lawrence, award-winning and best-selling mystery writer and former therapist. Here on this channel, we talk about psychology and systemic theory to make your writing more believable and to give life and depth to your characters. And today we are talking about fear. So fear narrows attention, right? You focus in on the thing that is causing the fear. It shortens sentences. You're not giving long dialogues or explaining things in depth. It's very rapid, very quick. You want to get it out. You want to get it handled. It changes breathing. If you're afraid, you're not breathing normally. A lot of times it's quick, rapid breaths. It's very stressed breathing. Fear is a whole body experience. It's not something you're feeling just in your chest or just in your head, just in your shoulders. It's a whole body takeover. And it's best shown, not told. A lot of times I've read books where a writer will tell me this person is scared. That doesn't mean anything to me. How are they scared? Show me what that's like for them. Show me how this character experiences fear. And one of the main reasons you want to do that, besides it just being kind of boring, is that everybody has felt fear. That is a universal experience. And most likely they felt something that your character is going through. And so it draws them in. They can connect to this character. They relate to this character. They can picture themselves in that situation. Now they're invested in this scene. Another important fact is that fear typically shows up physically. Very rarely does it show up emotionally. So some of the fear behaviors that we have, because we know that it's more physical than it is emotional, is freezing, silence, scanning for exits, tunnel vision, and irrational choices. How many horror movies have you watched where the person runs upstairs and you're yelling at them, why are you going up there? The front door's right there. Go through the window, get in the car, right? You're telling them what to do, but it's actually more realistic that they do those things because in moments of fear, you don't make rational decisions because your brain is not thinking. Your brain's only goal at that point is to keep you alive. It's not to analyze the situation and try to figure out the best course of action. So it's actually more realistic when a character does something stupid because they're thinking irrationally, they're in fear. Fear removes logic, temporarily at least. Usually when you least want it to, right? Like the killer busts through the door and they run up the stairs. Not the best time for that, but that's probably when it's going to happen, if it's going to happen. And the way writers generally get this wrong is way too much internal dialogue. When you're in fear, your brain is rushing 100,000 miles a minute. It doesn't have time to think and have this internal dialogue. Another thing is there's too much explanation. You don't need to explain why the character's afraid. Just show the reader that they're afraid. You don't need to explain why or, what the reason is. Just show them that they're afraid. Not enough instinct, right? People don't think in situations, they always act. So again, going back to the horror movie analogy, these characters aren't sitting and analyzing what's going on until they're out of immediate danger. When they run into each other in the woods and the killer's nowhere to be found, then they start planning. Then they start thinking of what do we do next? But as they're being chased or as the killer busts through the door, they're only acting. They're fighting back, they're running, they freeze, right? We talked about this in the last episode of trauma. There is an action. It might not be a good action, might not be the best action, but there's an action. So fall into that over trying to explain anything or give the character something that they're not going to really do. How would a normal person instinctually act in this scene? And that's kind of your starting point. The way to fix this is to write about the body first. Where are they feeling this? Is it in their chest, their stomach? What is this whole body experience that they're having with fear? Then fragmented thought. When I say fragmented thought, what do I mean? I don't mean, okay, I'm going to run through this door, go up the stairs. I know there's a loft over there. I'm going to get on the loft. I'm going to climb down to the second story, jump down onto the grass, run to the neighbor's house, and call the police. No. It's, I need to get out, run. Are they behind me? Oh, God. What about my family? Run, right? It's fragmented. It's not a clear course from A to B. It's all over the place. And it's usually, how am I going to survive this situation? Then the search for meaning happens, right? They aren't looking for meaning in the moment. That's when they're safe. When everything is done, then they can search for meaning. And it's not your place as the writer to give that to the reader in this scene of action. That is something for them to come up with, or the character to face later once it's all said and done. It's not something to cover right then and there. Now, one of the things I want to talk about with, say, the physical aspect of fear, because it's all physical, it's not emotional, it's not logical. What's happening to their body? Are they tensing up? Are they breathing heavy or maybe unable to breathe at all, right? That happens. Are they sweating? Has their body gone cold? What do these things feel like to them, right? Is there tingling? Is there heat? What is the first thought? When the thought does come up, what is that first thought for them? Is it a loved one? Is it that they're going to die? Is it to run? What is that first initial thought that pops into their head? Because it's not going to be something logical. It's not going to be a full thought. It's going to be very fragmented and to the point. What's the second thought? Once that first thought runs through, then what? And then you jump to the fifth thought, right? Because the others on the way there, they get totally overlooked because the brain is racing so quickly. Doesn't even have time to necessarily process those. And then once the character's safe, then they can start thinking. So if you think this will help your scenes feel more alive and bring more depth to your characters, like, share, and subscribe so that you can follow along each and every week for more psychology tips to improve your writing and bring life to your characters.